Imagine waking up tomorrow and Bitcoin has dropped 20% overnight just because of one decision made inside the Supreme Court of the United States. No hack, no economic collapse, no global crisis, just a ruling. And at the center of it all, Donald Trump. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the reality most people don't understand. Financial markets today are no longer driven only by numbers. They're driven by narratives, power, and political shockwaves. And Bitcoin, it might be decentralized, but it's not immune. Because when something this big happens, something that shakes trust in leadership, law, and stability, money doesn't think twice. It moves fast. Billions of dollars can enter or leave the crypto market in minutes. Panic spreads like wildfire. Headlines explode. And suddenly, what looked like a strong bull run turns into pure chaos. But here's where it gets even more interesting. What if the same event that could crash Bitcoin is also the exact trigger that sends it to new highs? What if fear becomes fuel? In this video, we're diving deep into a scenario almost no one is fully prepared for, where politics collides with crypto in the most explosive way possible. So don't blink, because what you're about to hear might change how you see Bitcoin forever. Bitcoin was supposed to be free from government control. So why does it still move every time politicians make a decision? It sounds like a contradiction, but it's the truth most people miss. Bitcoin was born in 2008 as a direct response to the global financial crisis, designed to operate outside institutions like the Federal Reserve. The idea was simple: no central authority, no manipulation, no interference. But here's the twist. Even though Bitcoin itself is decentralized, the people investing in it are not. And people react to news, fear, and uncertainty, especially when it comes from powerful systems like governments. Think about it. When interest rates rise, investors pull money out of riskier assets. When regulations tighten, fear spreads across crypto markets. When political instability increases, confidence drops instantly. And confidence is everything. Bitcoin doesn't crash because its code changes. It crashes because people's belief changes. Now add politics into the mix, especially in a country as influential as the United States, and the effect multiplies. A single headline can trigger mass panic selling, sudden market volatility, billions wiped out in hours, because crypto markets don't wait, they react. So while Bitcoin may not be controlled by governments, it is absolutely affected by them. And that's exactly why a major political event could send shockwaves through the entire crypto world. What if one courtroom decision didn't just shake politics, but sent shockwaves straight through your crypto portfolio? If the Supreme Court of the United States rules against Donald Trump, this isn't just another legal headline. It becomes a global financial signal. Because markets don't wait for explanations, they react instantly. First comes uncertainty. Investors start asking dangerous questions. Is the political system stable? Will this impact upcoming elections? Could this trigger deeper conflict? And uncertainty is like fuel for volatility. Within minutes, you could see sudden sell-offs across markets, sharp drops in Bitcoin price, panic spreading across social media. Then comes the second wave, risk-off behavior. Big institutions don't gamble during chaos. They move money into safer assets, cash, bonds, gold. And Bitcoin, it's still viewed as a high-risk asset, which means money flows out, prices react down fast. But here's the key thing to understand. This reaction isn't always logical. It's emotional. And in markets driven by emotion, even a political ruling can trigger a chain reaction that no one can fully control. What if the very event that could crash Bitcoin is secretly the same event that could send it skyrocketing? Sounds contradictory, but this is exactly how Bitcoin behaves. Because Bitcoin doesn't just react to fear, it feeds on it. If the ruling against Donald Trump creates deeper political division or weakens trust in institutions like the Supreme Court of the United States, something powerful happens in the background. People start questioning the system itself. And when trust in traditional systems drops, alternative systems rise. That's where Bitcoin shines. Its entire foundation is built on one idea: don't trust centralized power, So instead of running away from crypto, some investors actually run toward it during chaos. Here's how it typically plays out. Short-term panic, price drops. Narrative shift, system is broken. Long-term belief, Bitcoin demand increases. And suddenly, the same fear that caused a crash becomes the fuel for a rally. This is why Bitcoin is unpredictable. It doesn't just follow economics, it follows psychology, belief, and global sentiment. And in moments like this, that belief can flip faster than anyone expects. If you think this kind of chaos is new, think again, because Bitcoin has already shown us exactly how it reacts when the world starts falling apart. And the pattern? It's almost predictable. Every time there's a major global shock, whether it's economic fear, political tension, or sudden uncertainty, Bitcoin moves in two powerful phases. Phase 1. Panic. Investors don't wait. They sell first and think later. Stocks drop. Crypto crashes. Fear dominates everything. Liquidity becomes king, and people rush to cash out no matter the price. Phase 2. Realization. Once the dust settles, a shift begins. People start asking, can governments really be trusted? What happens if more money gets printed? Where can I protect my wealth? And that's when Bitcoin re-enters the spotlight, because unlike traditional systems, it offers something different: independence. We saw this pattern during global crises like the COVID-19 pandemic, where markets crashed hard. Then Bitcoin came back even stronger. So if history repeats itself, and it often does, a crash might not be the end. It could just be the beginning of something bigger. Everyone is watching the court ruling. But what if the real danger isn't the decision itself? It's what comes after. Because history shows, governments don't just sit back during chaos. They respond, and sometimes they overreact. If tensions rise after a ruling against Donald Trump, with protests, division, or instability, the pressure on regulators could skyrocket. Suddenly, crypto becomes an easy target. Why? Because it's fast, borderless, and hard to control. That's when you might start seeing headlines like new crypto regulations incoming, stricter rules for exchanges, government crackdown on digital assets. And this is where things get dangerous for Bitcoin. Not the ruling, but the reaction. Because regulation doesn't just create fear, it creates barriers. Investors hesitate, institutions pause, liquidity slows down, and in a market driven by momentum, that hesitation can trigger a deeper, longer-lasting drop. This is the part most people ignore. Bitcoin can survive fear, it can survive panic, but aggressive regulation, that's the kind of pressure that can truly shake the market. While everyone else is panicking and refreshing charts every second, a small group of investors is quietly preparing to win, and they're not guessing, they're following a plan. Because experienced investors understand one thing most beginners don't. Volatility is not the enemy, it's the opportunity. When headlines explode around a ruling involving Donald Trump and uncertainty spreads from institutions like the Supreme Court of the United States, smart money doesn't react emotionally. It positions itself strategically. First, they expect chaos. They already know prices can swing wildly, up or down, so they don't get caught off guard. Second, they keep cash ready, not to panic, but to act. Because when fear drives prices lower, they see value others are too scared to touch. And finally, they zoom out. They don't focus on one ruling, one headline, or one day. They focus on the bigger picture. Adoption is growing, technology is evolving, the financial system is changing. So while the crowd reacts, smart investors prepare. Because in moments like this, fortunes aren't lost, they're made. What if the next Bitcoin crash isn't something to fear, but something to prepare for? Because when a decision from the Supreme Court of the United States collides with a figure as polarizing as Donald Trump, the impact goes far beyond politics. It hits psychology, it hits confidence, and most importantly, it hits your money. So will Bitcoin crash? Maybe. Will it recover? History suggests very likely. But here's the truth most people ignore. The market doesn't reward those who panic. It rewards those who prepare. Because Bitcoin isn't just an asset, It's a reflection of global trust, fear, and belief in the future of money. And right now, all three are being tested. So instead of asking, what will happen next, ask yourself, what will I do when it happens? Will you follow the crowd and react emotionally? Or will you stay calm, think clearly, and act strategically? Because in moments like this, the difference between winning and losing isn't luck, it's awareness. If you found this eye-opening, hit like, subscribe, and stay informed, because the next move could change everything. Comment below, crash if you think Bitcoin will fall, pump if you think it will rise. Let's see who understands the market best.